You're working in your emergency department on a typical Saturday night when you get a call from the paramedics that a gunman has opened fire at a huge local concert. You are the closest hospital. You don't know how many patients are coming, but the rumor is there are going to be a lot. You have a few minutes to prepare, but this is stressful, and you want a plan to help make sure this goes successfully. So step one is just take a breath and get your game face on. You are the best hope for these people. Step two is to call for help. So if you have a code orange, you're going to call that. If you have an overhead page, you can use that in your hospital. Otherwise, you're going to delegate a whole bunch of phone calls. You want people to call in doctors, nurses, but you also want security. You want social work. You want everyone. Then you're going to divide into two teams. You're going to make an inside team and an outside team, home and away. The inside team's doing your normal patient care in the emergency department. Your outside team is going to go out onto the ambulance bay and do triage. Now, before you divide up, you want to designate areas. This is important. You want to decide where your patients are going to go inside so that you don't get swamped. And we're going to come back to the details on this. Next, you're going to make sure you can stay in communication. Some places use radios or walkie-talkies for this. If you know how to use that effectively, go right ahead. If not, just stick with your cell phone. Texting back and forth also tends to work just fine. So your inside team, they're clearing beds to make room for patients. They're talking to the OR, blood bank, the ICUs, getting all of their resources ready to look after the first patients coming in. But your outside team is critical. This is where you put your best people in those first few moments because crowd control starts outside. So you want to be managing this from the ambulance bay or as close to outside as you can manage depending on your resources. And out there, ideally, you have a team. It would be great to have a doctor, a fabulous triage nurse, some security, porters and volunteers. But I get that if you're working in a tiny place, maybe you only have two people to start. Maybe your outside team is one person and your inside team is one person. And then as people come in to help, you bolster both teams. Now your outside team has three jobs. They're going to identify patients, they're going to triage them, and then they're going to deliver them inside. Identification is pretty straightforward, and your best friend out here is a permanent marker. So on your way out the door, grab a handful of them, and outside, you're going to check for people's names and write it on them. If you have a triage tag, you can use that or a wristband, but if not, you just write on their chest or their arm. If they're unidentified, most places will use John Doe or Jane Doe and then number them sequentially. Numbers can be tricky if they smudge inside, so please write big, write legible, and maybe even write it twice on both their chest and their arm. Your next job outside is triage, assigning people a category based on how sick they are. And there are many different triage systems out there. At my place, we use Start Triage, which looks like this. You've got 4 categories. There are criteria for each category. You remember all the criteria, right? No, you don't. And it's okay. Nobody else does either unless you do this all the time. And that's okay, because I'm going to give you the super easy version of this. In those first few minutes, all you need to do is find the reds. Let's walk through how this works. Your green category is the walking wounded. They can talk to you, they can walk, you put their name on them, and then you write green under their name, or you use the triage tag, and you send them inside because these people can wait. Now here's the thing. You don't want to fill up your emergency department with green patients. You're going to send them somewhere else. At my place, we would use our biggest auditorium or maybe our cafeteria. They go there, and you assign a couple healthcare providers to keep an eye on them, to give first aid, but they wait. Your yellow category can also wait. Yellows can wait an hour or so. They've got a respiratory rate less than 30, they've got good pulses, they can talk to you. And at my place, I would put the yellows in the waiting room of my emergency department. So they're close to a bed. They're not actually in a bed, but they're close. You're saving your beds for the red patients. Reds are emergent. They need you right now. They've got a rest rate greater than 30, or they've got thready pulses, or they're confused. You also just know what these people look like. You know what sick people look like. You get these ones straight inside to your inside team. Now, blacks are the category for patients who are either deceased or who are unsalvageable. This includes apnea in a mass casualty event. And so if you reposition the airway, but the patient is still apneic, they get a black tag. This is a really important nuance because this is difficult. This means in a scenario like this, we are not bagging patients. We are not intubating and running the arrest. And this is the other reason why you want your best people outside, because there is room here for judgment on the day. The outside team has to look at the scope of the disaster. If there are only 5 patients, you can probably bring them all straight inside and manage that cardiac arrest. But if 500 patients are coming, you're going to need to triage and consider the black category. So these are your 4. But all you're looking for in those first few minutes is finding the reds and sending them inside. So you want a constant stream of porters and stretchers and volunteers and people ready to deliver these patients inside. Now here's the thing. You might be going somewhere unusual. Maybe you are using your auditorium. Having tapes like this makes it really easy. You can just tell your green patients to follow the tape down to that auditorium, and when that room fills up, you can just move the tape over to the next area that you have designated. And this makes sure that even when you're using volunteers, that people are going to their designated area. So in those first few minutes, you want to create an inside team and an outside team. You're going to swap phone numbers and you're going to designate areas where patients are going to go. Your outside team is working on identifying patients, triaging them, and delivering them inside. Your inside team is doing patient care and organizing your resources. And if you can get all of this started in those first few minutes, you are doing an amazing job, because this is truly the work of heroes. Thank you so much for your attention.